Welcome to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, come on, come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up and check out our preview of all the best stuff coming to theme parks in 2020. But first, this week's big news story is about the bed and breakfast that gives you the chance to cuddle up with some cows. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. It's time to hit the road with the Gold Key Adventures Society! We find ourselves at a seaside boardwalk amusement park, and as usual, we've done a poor job of picking a spot to record our latest episode. As we start clickety-clacking our way to the top of the huge wooden roller coaster, I yell over my shoulder, "Guys, maybe we should find a recording studio somewhere. Or maybe just hold our meetings at the Gold Key Adventure Society headquarters." Oh man, here comes the drop. All right, everybody, put your hands up and let's do the news. But first, for the rest of the news segment, hands up. But first, I have a challenge for you guys. It's a new year, and all the pundits are making predictions for 2020. So I want to hear your... I want you guys to give me a long shot prediction for what's going to happen in the Disney parks this year. And I'll go first to give you an example of what I mean. I predict that in the year 2020, the Yeti will finally be removed from Expedition Everest and given his own meet and greet location nearby. He'll be replaced with a giant animatronic marshmallow snow monster from Frozen that will actually be made from actual marshmallows, making him lighter so that he can actually move and also improving guest safety.
Huh.
That's my prediction for 2020.
I like that. I can get
feel
behind
like you
that.
had more time to think that up than
Yeah.
You always blindside us with this stuff.
That's the
Not
idea. It's called
fair.
improvisation.
Well, I predict in 2020 that Sunny Eclipse will be replaced by a all musical review of Baby Yoda and his full Mandalorian backup dancers.
Yes,
It's actually not that
please.
far-fetched.
You have the Cantina band could be in there with them.
There you go. There you go. I mean, Sunny's probably one of the last little bits of non-IP animatronics in the park, so I'm sure
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he would
And-
be easy to reskin.
Yeah, and you know they're looking for a way to get Baby Yoda in there, so.
Absolutely.
4 or 5 years.
I predict that prices will go up and value will go down slightly.
Gosh.
Far-fetched.
And the community will be outraged.
Yes. And that Dave won't like Epcot still.
It's not supposed to be done this year, so definitely not.
Dave's never
Jeff
going to
went
like
for all the
it.
gimmies.
Come on, let's be real. I predict that Spaceship Earth will be turned into a fully functioning Death Star.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know about
And
the
then-
fully functioning.
And then they're going to use it to shoot at Universal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blow up their epic universe.
Exactly.
They're universally
We
epic
see-
universal
We
epic
see your
universe.
epic universe.
And we raise
taking
you
it
one
out.
Death Star.
Yes.
They were like, well, we tried putting bees in their ride and that didn't work. So
Wouldn't that be amazing if that was some kind of, crazed Disney fan trying to take them down.
like
Brought
they
a
have some
bag
sort of
of
like
bees.
summer camp rivalry going on. Like,
Yeah.
Well, if we keep planting the seeds on this Death Star thing, it's eventually going to
I
happen.
feel like if we talk about it enough, it's going to
yeah,
happen.
someone from corporate's got to be listening,
It's
right?
Disney IP now.
I want
Who-
that.
Who needs just a
Yes.
giant silver ball when you could have the Death?
Silver ball. Silver ball.
Oh, it's been so long since Jeff serenaded us. It's good to have you back, Jeff.
That was also my nickname in high school.
I've been confusing everybody I know because I keep on thinking of my nicknames, high school nicknames. Also,
It's a great new trend.
Did you have a lot of them too?
Yeah, I keep on discovering new ones. Yeah. All right. Well, then it's time to do the news. We got something from the theme parks.
Yes. So, free dining is back at Walt Disney World for 2020, or will be back soon. So this year, it's a little interesting. It's going to be for arrivals most nights, June 27th through 28th, July 5th through 7th, and then August 29th through September 8th. So that's roughly about 16 eligible days.
Not very many.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's been shrinking every year at this point, but this is very small. So, but yeah, it comes with it. You get a Disney dining plan if you stay at most deluxe hotels, and then there's the quick service dining plan for the moderates and values. And there's a 4-night minimum stay, and you have to also book it by January 16th.
Yeah, very, very short booking window. It's
limited availability and limited window. Also, you have to have the 4-day hopper along with that.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
4-night stay.
One great thing this year, though, is that we're noticing a lot of availability on those dates. So the check-in dates are very small, but there's been tons and tons of availability. So if you want the promo and you can check in one of those dates, you're most likely going to get it, which is better than in previous years.
But I guess what they're trying to do with this is shift it to just filling in the week or two or specific dates where they know they're soft and just fill that up.
I mean, that's the point of a promo, right? So it's smart. Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're supposed to be in the fall and it's supposed to be this way, but that's just not, I don't think, ever going to be the case anymore.
Fall is just too busy now.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think kind of like what would happen if you got rid of Fast Pass Plus. I think that
riots,
limiting or removing the free dining is just going to lead to a better experience in the long run.
Definitely.
You know, you don't have the whole mentality of just got to snag whatever, anything and everything.
It's something they came up with during the recession when they were not being able to fill hotel rooms, and that's just not a problem anymore. It's hard to find availability on a lot of dates throughout the year, but it's a promo that they kind of got locked into doing because everyone loved it and everyone expected it, and they've done it year after year after year. So I think it's hard for them to say, let's just do away with it. And so it's just been, they've kind of been chipping away at it for the last few years. And this is the first really, really big reduction in dates. So
it certainly makes a lot more sense to shift it to the summer because the spring and the fall have just been nuts lately in the parks and in the hotels.
Yeah.
Because of the 15 festivals a year that they have.
The Festival of Festivals is coming soon, I've heard.
I'm working on that one.
It's going to be glorious.
Can't wait. All right, Heather, you got a weird news story for us, don't you?
I do. The headline on this story is Man Sneaks Pet Opossum on JetBlue Flight and Almost Gets Away with It.
If it hadn't been for those meddling kids and that dog, he would have.
This California man took a trip to Texas, and it seems he had no problem getting to Texas, but it was when he was trying to come home with his, they call it in this article, a unique pet. Yeah, it's unique, all right.
Understatement of the century.
He has a pet opossum named Zatara, and if you want to check her out, she has her own Instagram account because, of course, her Instagram tag is Zatara the opossum. And I guess the problem came when he was traveling with her.
Clever nickname,
right? He was traveling with her in a pet carrier, and it seems on the way there, everyone just assumed it was either a small dog or a cat, which is totally fine. But he took her out of the carrier while on the flight, while they were still loading. And that's when the flight crew noticed that it was not a cat or a dog. And the crew members asked him to leave. So he calls her a fancified trash cat. So I guess he sort of thinks of her as his pet cat.
And that was my nickname in high school.
She is really cute. I will say that if you go to her Instagram and take a look, she's very cute. But
I'm going to beg to differ on that. I think possums are scary.
They're so gross looking.
They look like demonic Muppets. They're very weird looking.
They do. They are weird looking. JetBlue declined to transport him home. So it says he booked a flight home the next day on United, boarded that flight, and no one even asked. I assume he didn't take her out of the pet carrier this time. And his
So I wonder-
fancified trash cat got home without incident on his second flight.
I wonder why they care if it's a possum instead of a cat. What's the difference?
That's a really good question. I mean, it's about the size of a cat. And
Some people hate cats as much as I hate a possum. And I live in Alabama, so possums for pets are pretty common here.
Whether you want one or not.
That's right. We've got a bunch of pets living in my attic right now.
I mean, what are the odds that a possum's had its shots recently compared to a cat, though?
Yeah.
All right, that's
true.
a valid point. Well, I know my possum, Tiny Tim, has had all of his shots.
I call the big one Bitey. Jess,
So
anything else?
speaking of festivals, Epcot International Festival of the Arts starts January 17th.
Yay.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Are
there's
they
another
having a festival at Epcot?
Yeah.
What's this one
right?
about?
This one is about art and
Ooh.
food because
And
there's
food.
always
Okay,
got to
good.
be food. Right.
And booze.
Food and booze?
And booze. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So they'll have food studios that are serving artistic culinary creations. There'll be hands-on workshops. And there'll be also artist appearances along with art for sale. So you can go and meet the artist, get it signed. I've done that a few times, which is pretty cool. And then the Disney on Broadway series, which is performances of popular Disney Broadway songs by some of the actors who actually perform them.
That's fun.
Yeah, so that starts on the 17th and it goes until February 24th.
I saw some pictures of the food, and it looks like they are trying to go very artistic and
Yeah.
It's
beautiful.
the
on
prettiest
food.
of
very
of
pretty
the festival food.
Of the nearly identical festivals that they have year round there, I do like this one the best because I like having all the artist displays. I've picked up some cool prints and stuff there, and I've watched the splatter paint guy. I can't remember his name, but he's super popular and he paints to music. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
that
I
guy's
like
cool.
all that.
They had an artist there last year that did 3D kind of like sculptures out of paper. And they were some of the coolest things I've ever seen. Very, very detailed, most of them Disney themed. And if you're just walking by, it sort of looks like it's a painting. But when you get up close, you could see that it was very, very detailed, layered, fancy paper. And they were really cool. I wanted to buy one, but they were very expensive too. There was a very elaborate ratatouille one that she did, and it was like $4,000, I think. But I can imagine it must have taken hours.
Some advice for our listeners: don't do what I did and trash the piece you're looking at and not realize that's the artist sitting there on the stool. I was like, ugh, I hate this stuff. And she's like, well, that's mine. I'm like, ugh, I'll throw myself out.
I spent 6 weeks making that.
Yeah. It was that weird sort of baby doll looking art. I was very weird. I can't stand that stuff. And I didn't realize it was the artist there. It's usually not, but sometimes it is. They go there. And
During this festival, sometimes you will encounter the artist right there.
Yeah.
Selling their wares.
I felt terrible. I didn't still buy one of those ugly things, but
creepy baby doll art. No, thank you. Oh yeah, they usually that festival, and actually I think most of the festivals now, they have a booth that has all of those Disney baby doll in many, many, many different costumes. The creepy giant eyes and
they're slightly like gothy looking. Versions.
Like precious moments.
Princesses.
They're like it's like dead precious moments babies.
Yes, exactly. That is a perfect description.
Why did you kill me?
They always look like Bratz. Have you ever seen those? The Bratz toys or cartoons?
And I think they're really, really popular because there's always a lot of people at that booth, but I can't do it.
Yeah, they are. Precious moment stuff is real popular too.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yep.
And we found another segment of our audience to alienate.
Yes. It's just not what I'm into. Everybody's welcome to be into their own stuff.
Except for those paintings.
We still have the Hummel figure collectors, so we're okay.
Yeah,
right.
Have they released any of the menus for the festival? Is there any exciting new additions?
Yes, there are. All the menus are out. They haven't released at this point right now the artist lineup and when they're going to be there. We have a full guide over on themeparkprofessor.com for the festival.
www.themeparkprofessor.com.
HTTP. And as soon as they announce the lineup for the artists, I'll be adding that onto the guide. But yeah, it looks like the lineup so far for the food this year isn't that much different than it was last year.
It usually stays mostly
To the surprise of no one.
Yeah, they don't tend to change it up too much. They've still got the decorate your own Pop-Tarts coming and
the
Everyone's
chocolate
favorite,
easels with the
decorate your own
paintings on them.
Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
Why have I never done this? I love a Pop-Tart, and I'm very artistic.
It is true.
And I love frosting.
I like to make Jackson Pollock frosting patterns at home.
This could be an inspiration for a whole new line of designs at Tiki D's.
Yes.
Oh, I like it. I'll talk to them.
Edible shirt designs.
Ooh.
Festival
All right.
teas.
It's been a while since we talked about any weird hotels. Heather, you want to go first?
I did find one this week, and it is in Oregon at a place called the Brasada Ranch. And you can build your own snow cave and then sleep in it.
Couldn't you do that in any field?
You probably could. That's true. Yeah. The Brasada Ranch is an 1,800-acre property in Oregon. And during a few cool and cozy weekends, they call them cool and cozy. I'm not sure I would use those words for sleeping in a cave dug out of the snow. However, they're hosting snow camp weekends. So basically, you will take a snowshoe excursion into the wilderness, dig your own cave. This is a disclaimer. This is really not up my alley.
Yeah,
whatsoever. It's not only snowy, it's also camping. So
Don't forget the hike to get
and the hiking. Yes.
And you have to dig your own hole.
And you have to dig your own. Yeah. They will provide you with snowshoes and overnight packs. You strap them on and head up into an old growth hemlock forest. And when you arrive at camp, you'll build your own individual snow cave. And then before retiring to your cave for the evening, they'll have a campfire cooked meal and local libations. So, I mean,
Do you have to cook your own meal too?
They will be cooking for you. Yeah. And providing you with the booze. And then you'll sleep in a cave overnight. Then in the morning, they'll cook you breakfast. You'll have another snowshoe tour, and you return back to the Brasada Ranch for a final night of snowcation. So they do.
I like the picture in this story of supplies for making breakfast laid out on the table dug out of the snow.
Yes, it's. I hope they have a lot of snow because this is really. And there's a little picture of people in their snow cave. Yeah, There's adventurous people out there who would love to do this, but it sounds like the actual ranch is more up my alley because they have nice cabins, a spa with an indoor heated pool and a hot tub. Yeah, I could get behind that, and then everyone else can go hike in the snow and sleep.
I'll look at some pretty snow, and I don't want to dig my bed in it.
I mean, if I'm being driven out to the wilderness and being made to dig my own hole and then sleep in it, that's a hostage situation.
This doesn't sound like it's going
Someone needs to alert my family.
Send help.
Right. Pay the man whatever he wants. Get me out of there.
Oh, they're making you dig your own hole too. Oof, this is
a real Tom Sawyer situation.
Who would pay to get you back, Jess?
Oh.
No. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody. The dog, so that I'd feed him. He'd figure out a way to raise the money.
How about you, Dan? Did you find a fun hotel?
Yeah. This is from Insider.com. I think the headline really says it all. You can buy cow cuddles for $75 an hour at this luxurious bed and breakfast.
Cow cuddles?
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I just ask, who has looked at a cow and thought, wow, I would just love to cuddle with that animal?
Many a lonely farmer.
Yeah.
Fair point.
They're probably Welsh.
I'm more of a sheep man myself.
Oh. Tell us more, Dan.
Outside the Mountain Horse Farm, a luxurious bed and breakfast and glamping site in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. You have the opportunity to cuddle with cows. And the owner of the ranch has offered these experiences for a long time as therapeutic interactions between horses and guests. And so Kind of like when they bring a dog into an old folks home or something.
Yeah.
So it's
I saw
same idea,
Equus. I know what you're talking about.
Well, she decided to branch out and bring cows into the mix. Apparently, I can only just read this quote. After a visit to our home country, the Netherlands, we learned about cow cuddling, Buller said. We felt it would be an amazing addition.
Of course, it was the Dutch.
to the wellness work we were already doing. Apparently, it's a thing in the Netherlands to cuddle with cows. So, for $75, you can spend an hour cuddling with the farm's 2 cows, Bonnie and Bella.
An hour?
Do they dress them up for you?
No.
You have to provide your own costumes.
While the cows often sit and are receptive to cuddling, they are also free to roam and play during their interactions to humans. So you're paying them $75, and you might not even get to cuddle the cow. The cow might be off doing its own thing.
Cow might not be that into you.
Hey, moo means moo, okay?
Choice and respect are key words. When you spend time with them, you enter their space, and connecting with them is as much their choice as it is yours. So,
oh my word!
It's all about consent.
So many things we could say that
when
we
that
probably
connection
shouldn't.
happens, it's magical because it comes from a mutual desire.
What is
happening? The freedom of choice makes all the difference.
How old are these cows?
It looks like they're of age, but I'm sure that you can ask for ID before you enter the pen.
This has taken a turn that I was not expecting.
All of this sounds like just wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to post. I'm going to make sure that we post the cows' Facebook and Instagram pages.
Do they have pictures so you know what you're getting into first?
Mail order
Swipe
cows.
right on that cow. Yes. This is Bessie. She loves cuddling by the moonlight.
And eating hay.
Chewing her own cud.
That's
I mean, who else is cud would she be?
Yeah, that's true.
Is this a cud swap?
Hey, she's a professional. I don't know.
And now we just turned our explicit rating.
Well, we just
There go
lost
the
all of our
farmers.
farmer listeners.
Guys, I'm broke. I can't.
2020 is going to be a fun year, you guys.
There goes our Wisconsin listeners where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
Oh, deep breaths.
Well, Dan, I thought you were just going to talk about the Vegemite Hotel, but cow cuddling. All right, there we go.
Yeah. This is much better. Okay, does somebody have another news story?
Can you cuddle with Vegemite?
Whew.
If you try hard enough.
What you do with Vegemite on your own time is your business.
Exactly. Ugh. No, we all missed our chance to stay in the Vegemite Hotel. It was only the month of December. Sadly, we missed it while we were on break.
Oh, man.
But the greatest part about it was that the bed looked like Vegemite on toast.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Mine does every morning.
Ew.
Tell us more, Jeff.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'll leave that to the imagination.
Wow. Well, in other news,
Thank you.
Literally.
Thank you.
you can now renew your passport in 24 hours using Mobile Passport. Have you guys used this app?
No.
It is.
No.
It is a really great app. Unfortunately, not a lot of airports are using it yet, but it is starting to gain in popularity. And basically you download the app and then you scan your passport into the app and you can fill out all of your customs information right in the app. And then they have a separate line at the airports that use it and you get through super fast. I've heard that it's even faster than global entry because you've entered everything into the app. It submits it right to the State Department and Customs and Border Control, and you're through quickly. Well, and now they're adding a new feature where they have teamed up with a service called Rush My Passport, and you can renew your passport using the app and get it in as quickly as 24 hours. Which, if your passport's about to expire and you need to take that last minute trip to France, could come in pretty handy. It also works at some cruise ports. That's where I've used it most. Is the Miami cruise port has it, and it's a much shorter line than the regular line if you have mobile passport. So check it out. You can download it in the app store of your choice.
Did they list what the fee is for the 24-hour turnaround?
They don't list it. They say that it's a sliding scale because you have to pay the standard government fee for a passport renewal is $170. And then the Rush My Passport service can get it to you in as quickly as 24 hours, or you can just do other levels of expedited service. So the normal service through the State Department usually takes 6 to 8 weeks, they say.
Wait, is a passport renewal $170 now?
It is, yeah.
Oof.
Nice, huh?
I guess that beats helicoptering home from somewhere. I don't know.
Fair.
Swimming home from another country if your cruise ship breaks down.
Oof. Yeah. Trip insurance.
Yep.
You can also, if you need a rush order passport, but this says aren't a fan of doing it on your phone, FedEx office locations have now started having a passport renewal option within 24 hours. However, that one costs $500 on top of the government fee of $170. They don't call out what the Rush My Passport fees are, but I've recommended that service to clients in the past, and I think it's around $150 to $200 for an expedited passport through them. So that about doubles your passport renewal a little bit more. Not too bad if you really do need one that quickly. Yeah.
Right. It's supposed to be an emergency. It's not something for irresponsible.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I bet a lot of irresponsible adults wind up using it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably more than emergencies.
What? You told me I had to have a passport for this trip? What?
Mm-hmm.
I think what trips up a lot of people is they don't realize that you really need to keep 6 months of validity on your passport. There are a lot of places where you can't travel if your passport is expiring in the next 6 months.
Usually, which I take umbrage with.
Yeah, usually
if
cruise
it's good,
is
it's
fine.
good. What does it matter?
Yeah. Well, I think what they're trying to avoid is people who are sort of trying to arrange an oops, I can't leave your country because my passport is expired. Kind of situation. I don't know that for sure, but that's my guess.
It's always the nefarious people that mess it up for us.
That's why we can't have nice things.
That and the cow cuddlers.
Some would say that
they're on the list. All right. I've got a new feature that I want to experiment with on our show. I was gifted a copy of the Atlas Obscura for Christmas this year. Yeah. So we're going to take a random walk through the Atlas Obscura. So Heather, I need you to pick a number from 0 to 4.
3.
3. Okay. Write that down because I'm getting old.
Is this a magic trick?
No. Just 0 to 9.
Is 9. This your card?
9. No. Jeff, 0 to 9.
12. 8.
8. Page 398.
Ooh.
Okay.
Exciting.
Clever.
Yeah.
It says index.
We're going to see what comes up. Hopefully it's something interesting. All right. I'm going to pick the weirdest thing on the page. All right. So maybe somebody wants to book a trip to the Mano del Desierto in Antofagasta.
We love it when Dan has to pronounce weird words.
This is somewhere in Latin America. There's a lot of hard words here, so stick with me here. This is it's south of
America.
Okay, it's south of the town of Antofagasta in the state of Antofagasta, along the Pan American Highway. It's a 36-foot tall stone hand protruding out of.
It's a giant stone hand protruding out of the ground. Oh. Wow.
I bet it knows you're the one.
That is the second time we've referenced that song in this show. Yes. And it makes me happy. The barren monotony of the Atacama Desert is shattered by what looks like a buried giant reaching out for help. Mano del Desierto, a 36-foot tall hand protruding out of the sand, is the work of Chilean. Oh, it's in Chile. Chilean sculptor Mario Irarrázaval.
Wow.
It was built in the early 1980s. Its work is known for its portrayal of human vulnerability and helplessness.
Oh. Well, I'm glad that...
Two concepts that certainly come across when viewing this unnerving half-submerged bomb. So, call your favorite travel planner from Key to the World Travel. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Your key to a magical vacation.
And be glad it's the giant's hand protruding out of the ground. And
Your
not
key
something
to a
else.
giant hand.
Yes.
It looks like Charlton Heston should be there being like, you did it. You blew it up.
You damn dirty apes. So is there a caretaker for that statue that has a year-round hand job?
Would you like to apply for that
I
position?
will apply for that, yes.
Ooh, we have fun. Do we have any more news?
We are laughing.
No, nothing good.
That's all I got. That's all I got this week, you guys.
All right, well then, we're going to take a quick break for commercial, but stick around because after that, we're going to be talking about all of the exciting things that are coming to Disney parks and Universal, and there's some cool stuff happening in SeaWorld and some other places. So don't go away, and we'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Perfect.
When it comes to planning your next adventure, knowledge and preparation are always key. That's why a call to your Key to the World Travel vacation planner should always be at the top of your to-do list when you feel the urge to venture forth and explore the world. Key to the World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in travel to Disney theme parks around the world, as well as Disney Cruise Line, Aulani, and Adventures by Disney. With over 450 travel advisors who share a deep love for Disney destinations, Key to the World Travel has a wealth of knowledge and passion to help you experience all the magic with none of the work. Wherever your wanderlust is driving you, Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency with the expertise to get you where you want to go. So whether you're headed to Universal Studios, Hawaii, Europe, or somewhere a little farther off the beaten track, your first step should always be to visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote. Their expert travel planners are standing by to help you with every detail of your perfect vacation. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com or at Key to the World Travel on Facebook. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation.
And now, back to the show.
So we've gotten off the roller coaster and we're exploring the Midway. I've got a cone of cotton candy the size of a toddler, and Jess is lugging around a gigantic teddy bear that he won after throwing $50 worth of darts at a wall of balloons. Tucked away between the Guess Your Weight booth and a lemonade stand, we find a Zoltar fortune-telling machine. After a brief discussion, we decide that a peek into the future is more than worth risking a big situation. So we insert our quarters and Zoltar speaks and spits out a surprisingly long card filled with tiny print. Guys, you know what this is? It's a list of all the exciting new things that are coming to theme parks this year. Let's start with Dave's favorite, Epcot.
Epcot.
That's where most of the action is in Orlando.
So much action is happening at Epcot right now.
I'm most excited, I think, about Space 220, the new space-themed restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Opening in winter.
Yeah, it's supposed to be here any day now, right? Right
Well,
now.
I haven't seen the latest update. Last I heard, they were still looking for a chef.
I have heard that they lost their chef and now they have to hire a new one.
Yeah, he went to Vegas.
Did the cable break and he floated off into space?
Yes.
Dang it, we keep losing chefs.
Yeah, the latest news just says it's slated to open in early 2020, but we don't know when.
So that gives us up to June then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Before it's late.
What is the last day of winter, technically? Isn't it late? It's
March
late February.
20th, I think. March 21st
yeah, so that's still
is
quite a while.
First,
It'll be March 21st.
I'm excited for that one. It looks cool, and I wonder if it'll make me a little seasick. Sometimes simulators do.
I hope
so, yeah,
You hope so?
That's what I like as a meal
It's part of the
with
experience.
seasickness.
I'm
if
excited.
they're going to immerse me in outer space, then I better feel a little bit of space.
Are they going to make you ride Mission Space first and get spun around in the in the centrifuge.
I
and
think
you
they
feel
should do
like
it the
you're
other way
launched.
around. You have a huge meal and a giant dessert, and then go right downstairs into mission space and get.
Well, it is
get it all
equipped.
slung out of
It
you.
is equipped with vomit bags, so perfect.
The restaurant.
Now we've got room to hit up the festival.
Always thinking about that extra
That's a
dollar.
great point, Dan.
Love Disney.
Let's see. So, what else is going on in Epcot? We've got allegedly at some point, Harmonious is supposed to open.
Sometime
Money who?
at some point.
Yeah, either spring or later, depending on.
They've said summer now was the last thing that I read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's going to keep on getting pushed back and back.
Well, if it's anything like the Rivers of Light debacle, it'll be a while because they kept
Yeah.
sinking their floats. I think that looks pretty cool, though. I hope it's big. That's a big lake, and they keep trying to do these smallish shows on a huge lake. And once you've seen stuff like Fantasmic and World of Color and see how they can fill up a space, everything just seems too small there now.
That's what they've
Like, I've
said.
got a kite and a jet ski.
The fire kites are pretty spectacular.
They are
when
pretty
they-
cool.
when
If
when
there
you
were
see them
70
in
of them,
person.
it would be spectacular. When there's 4 out there on that big lake, like one guy, I'm riding a jet ski.
Oh no, my strings got tangled.
Dang
Well,
it.
supposedly in their press for it, Disney has said that it will be the largest nighttime spectacular
Yes.
ever created for
Yep.
a Disney theme park.
Whoa, that's
So-
some Disney-style hyperbole there.
Yeah, the concept art makes it look like a mix of World of Color and traditional fireworks shows.
Yeah.
With floats and LED panels, and
Yeah.
spotlights, and pyro, and lasers.
I'm still hoping they've figured out a way to do the drones and that they're going to surprise everybody with the light up drones like they did for the Christmas thing at Disney Springs
that would
a
be
couple years
cool.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Apparently, it was all about getting them into the lagoon. So they have to launch them from a place outside of the lagoon to get them to in position, and they can't fly them over people.
Over people.
Right. So, and all they had was
Oh.
that one access area that the barge from
Mhm. Yep.
Illuminations used to go through, and they couldn't, as from what I had heard, couldn't figure out how to get the drones to go under the bridge and make it across into the lagoon and get set up.
Oh, right,
So-
because they'd have to go under that bridge. Yeah.
right. So
why can't they launch them off of a barge?
That's what I'm thinking.
once they're
Have
out
them
in
from
the
a
lagoon?
island or floating platform that's out in
Dan,
the
you should be an
lagoon.
Imagineer.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably a good answer if they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Bob Iger on the phone.
Yeah, I'll call Bobby.
Jeff's got him on speed dial.
I think the France expansion in Epcot is
Yes.
It's getting
most,
really
favorite
close.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much
Ratatouille
bigger than
Adventure.
I thought it was. You can see it really well from the Skyliner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and we
really
just
impressed by
saw
how
it-
much space it is.
Just saw it this week, and they're really far into that expansion. All the stuff, you've been able to see it on the Skyliner for quite a while, and it's been just, a mess.
Can you
of
tell yet how you
construction.
access it? Do you go around to the right, like on the other side of the arcade?
Yes,
entrance?
that's what it looks like from what I was seeing this past week. All of that back there now really looks like beautiful Parisian buildings. It doesn't look like
Mhm.
just a mess anymore. They've put the roofs on all those buildings back there, and it looks like you will be accessing it from the extreme right hand side of the France Pavilion,
like over
along
by
the
where Belle
riverfront there.
greets now.
Yeah. That's all. That's what I can see so far. It's a little tricky to tell because the Ratatouille Adventure show building is really, really big, and it's hard to tell exactly where you're going to be entering that show building. But the restaurant is right next to it, and that's what they just put the roof
Yeah.
on. Yes.
The size of that show building leads me to believe that instead of the guest actually becoming tiny, I think some of the sets are large.
Oh, I think you
Yeah.
might be right.
Spoiler alert.
Ruining the magic again.
I
But
love
the-
that ride in Disneyland Paris.
Yes.
I cannot wait to go on it here.
It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And the restaurant, I was thinking when they were describing it that it was only going to be a quick service, but it is going to be quick service and table service. So I'm excited about that.
It's a creperie.
Yes.
With a menu by apparently some famous guy.
Jérôme Bocuse.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, Jeremy Buckets. I
That
love
guy.
that guy.
That French guy.
Is
You're
he
American
related
now.
to famous French actor Juicy Smoulier?
I I think it's a different guy. Yeah.
Now I'm remembering why these shows always run long when Jeff is on.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
It's not.
Oh no, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all.
There's some other new food
also
coming to Epcot.
Oh, food.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other
Hit me with the food.
The food. The Regal Eagle Smokehouse.
Yes.
That should be opening in the next couple of months, I think. Featuring
With Sam the Eagle on it.
Yes.
Yeah, do we think he's going to pop up as a?
Oh,
as a
I hope
puppet?
so.
Oh, I would love that so much.
That would be amazing.
If he's just a picture on the sign, that's going to be a pizza Rizzo.
They
Yeah.
talked about like his
Yeah.
barbecue contest or whatever. That
Yeah,
he's
it
the
just
judge
seems like
of.
he's hosting it, and I really don't think you're going to see him anywhere. But yeah, like you said, like Pizza Rizzo, it's going to be
They're missing
touches
an
of him.
opportunity if
That
there's
would make
not
me so
a
happy
Sam.
if he would pop up in random corners somewhere.
There's
You
no
know,
reason why they couldn't.
Hire a teenager, put his hand up
Yeah.
Sam's butt, and work that out.
Barbecue is the ultimate American cuisine, so he would approve of it. It says they're going to be serving Texas-style brisket, Memphis ribs, and various other barbecue specialties.
I like that it's called a celebration of all cook-offs, but mostly barbecue.
Yes,
Yeah, that's so good.
that's very good.
But just the American ones.
That's the American one. Italy's getting a gelato stand.
Oh.
I'm excited about that.
Well, they're replacing the movies in a few of these countries too. Those
Oh, yes.
360, whatever those are called.
The Circle Vision, those are
Circle
opening
Vision.
really soon, actually. All three
Got
of
a
them
new
are
O
opening.
Canada.
That's,
All three of
they're
them are opening on January 17th. So coming up real quick here.
Wondrous China
Mm-hmm.
and the Beauty and the Beast sing along in France.
Yes.
Yeah,
And there's
over
also-
at the land.
Oh, and the land.
Awesome
Yeah.
planet.
An awesome planet. Yep.
Yes.
And Canada Far and Wide and Circle Vision 360.
It's saying also the Moana Journey of Water is supposed to open this year, although it doesn't really have a date set of
A heavily themed splash pad.
Yes.
or a maze. That's
So
this one describes it as.
after going to the Epcot experience that they've got going right now, where you can see the concepts for everything that they've got coming.
Yeah, I still haven't gone in there.
Yeah, I watched it, and they have a little part for that Moana attraction or whatever walkthrough that it's going to be. It does look like it's basically just a revamped version of the jumping fountains.
That's
At
all the
Imagination.
concept art I've seen. That's what it looks like. It's
Yeah,
gonna be.
it looks like
Is
maybe
it-
you'll be able to change the color of like waterfalls with lights and things like that. But mostly it's just those jumping fountain things.
That
So-
sounds dumb to us because we're not the target audience.
Oh
but
no,
if you
I know
got-
kids are going to love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kids are
that's
going to
a
love
good
that.
point.
And any of those places where kids can calm down and get a little respite and parents can get on their phones. They should put phone chargers around that area so mom
Yeah,
and
if
dad
they-
can charge up the phone while the kids
like the
either
hidden
burn a
phone
little energy or
chargers at
chill out.
Rapunzel's potties.
Yeah, the prettiest
Yeah.
pooper in all the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me some ample seating while my kid, jumps around and gets his energy out. That sounds good to me.
It's like that
yeah,
area.
presumably
in-
it's going to be landscaped and themed.
It's like that area in California Adventure that's like the redwoods where the kids can run and play.
Redwood Forest Trail.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool for little ones.
My kids loved that until they both got too tall to participate.
hmm Yeah, I got kicked out of there. They're like, "Sir, put some clothes on and leave."
There's one other thing at Epcot that I'm excited about is the new retheme of the World Showcase Adventure is going to change from
DuckTales.
Ancient P to DuckTales.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Maybe I'll actually play it now.
Here's how elderly I am. I've never seen DuckTales. It was
Either one.
It was
Not even the new one?
no.
Oh.
Well, because I don't care about it. Because
Right.
in the '90s I was elderly already, so I didn't watch the old show. I did watch Rescue Rangers for whatever reason,
That's a good one.
but DuckTales passed me by.
Chip and Dale.
My son loves the new DuckTales. I've watched it a couple times with him, and it bears almost no resemblance to the original, but
Yeah, it's
It's
great.
still
We
fun.
watch it. I think it's great.
I like the look of the animation on the new one.
And a lot of the storylines I think are more like the old comics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Was it a comic before it was a show originally?
The Donald or Scrooge McDuck comic.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, I'm looking. Let's see.
Oh, and the Beauty and the Beast sing along. We forgot that while mentioning France. They're adding that in. I think it's only playing some of the time in the same theater. That
Yeah,
the
it's going to
original-
run opposite the Impressions of France circle.
Oh, I thought it was called Impressions de France.
It's Impression de France. Yes.
Say that again.
Time for a French off.
Say that again in your special outfit.
That didn't come out quite the way I...
Say that like one of your French girls.
Lemu.
Oh, and we didn't mention in the Canada Far and Wide that it's no longer going to be Martin Short.
I know.
Right,
sad.
it's Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara now.
Yes.
Oh, I wish it was
I'll see it.
Keanu Reeves.
Is he Canadian?
Talk about missing Région.
Yes.
Yes. Is he really? I guess I didn't realize Keanu Reeves was Canadian.
He's from Quebec.
Oh.
Quebec.
So that's Epcot in a nutshell.
Help, I'm in a nutshell.
Magic Kingdom, they're just still plugging away at building things, right? There's really
Plugging
nothing
away.
going on
Yeah,
there.
Tron they finished the main track inside the building
will be
part of
inside.
it that they call,
Right.
it will be inside what they call the gravity box. And they just
Yeah.
started bringing that big, I don't know what you call it, the part of the track that looks like a giant swoosh.
It's
then
called
it's
the,
sort of-
the Nike track.
It's called a swoosh, yeah. It's covered, but sort of open at the same time. Yeah. They have the light cycle ride vehicles out in front of Mission Space Mountain right
that's the
now.
one.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of those
I've
Ding,
got
ding,
all
ding.
the-
Nailed it. First time.
all the space rides flowing around in my head right now that you can go and sort of try them out.
Do they have it where you can actually click it and see if like a big, tall, fat person like myself can fit?
It's
Or
weird.
somebody with a bad back.
I don't
Yeah.
think that what they have is you sit down in it and you pull on this handle and it brings the back up, but it doesn't click in, and I don't think it's an actual very good representation of being able to tell whether it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
It was.
I like to
it's
test
too-
a ride vehicle out before I wait an hour in line for it and go,
Yeah.
sir, get out of here.
So I don't know
1
if
hour?
this is
Are you
if that's
kidding?
what they're going to be using as the tester or not. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah, with these new ride vehicles, like with Flight of Passage, I'm glad they have them out front, because I assumed
Yeah.
I couldn't ride Flight of Passage because I have a bad back, and I just saw a video of the vehicle and I was like, that looks uncomfortable, but it's surprisingly
It's actually
okay.
comfortable, and
Tron-
I have no
the
problem
Tron
with it. I'm
vehicles
both
are-
tall and big. and
Right.
can
And
do
the
it, no
Tron
problem.
vehicles are very similar to Flight of Passage in that they have both a back restraint portion and leg restraint portion.
Mhm.
And that's so both of those things have to click. We tried them out, and my 16-year-old son, who's over 6 feet tall and big, the back was coming up fine for him, but he was having trouble with the leg restraint. But like I said, it was just a mechanical thing that you pulled down. So we couldn't really tell whether that was an accurate representation.
For me, the
of what it's
secret
gonna like.
on Flight of Passage is I have to scoot all the way forward and push my foot as forward as possible.
Yeah.
And then sit way up. And then when it clicks in, it's fine. And then I can relax and it's
I think
good.
it's
But
gonna be
people
kinda
with longer
similar
or
on
bigger
that.
legs are having more issues with Flight of Passage
Yeah,
than
definitely.
actual like gut
The-
girth.
The one difference on the Tron vehicle is that you're definitely leaning much more forward than you are
Yeah.
in Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage, you can kind of sit up straight, but these you have to really lean forward because they want you to feel like you're riding a motorcycle, right?
That gets you. That's where bellies can get in the way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's word's still out on that right now, whether tall and big folks are going to have trouble with that ride. Hopefully they take that into account. I mean, you're putting this attraction in the United States. We're not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We're not.
Newsflash,
tiny
we're all
Asians,
fat.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's too bad.
So we'll see.
Let's head over to Hollywood Studios.
So many things.
There's just a couple new things for 2020. I'm just going to glance over real quick because we don't have a firm date, but there's a chance that the Woody's Roundup Barbecue might open at the end of the year, but probably not.
The building is up. I had no idea where that was actually going, and it was just pointed out to me last week, and it was
Where is it?
not where I expected. So when you're walking into Toy Story Land, and there's
With
that
Woody on your right.
there's that giant Woody and giant
Which I
Woody
love every time.
statue that talks to you.
How
Actually,
many
right,
inches is that thing, do we think?
Enough.
just enough. Actually, right before you get to him, there's a little path that leads off to backstage, and there's a backstage door right there. That building is just on the other side of that door. So the whole building for that restaurant is basically right next to Woody.
Oh.
You think the entrance will be there or on the other side of Woody? They'll probably, because they were originally going to put that little old West-looking building there that was going to have stores in it. That was just past Woody on the right. I wonder if it'll connect back where that was.
That was what the cast member we were talking to. That's what they think is happening. They don't think you're going to enter it from that backstage. They think they'll keep that backstage entrance right there, and that it will be just what you thought on the other side of Woody and around there. That the entrance would happen. That would be nice if they put in all of that stuff, all of those storefronts from the concept art.
Yeah, it looked really cool. Yeah. Like an old West town, ghost town looking thing.
But the building is all the way up, so they're just working now on the inside and on the fronts.
And I think March 4th is Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway.
March 4th,
yes. Right. Yes, sir.
Is anyone even excited about that? Who even likes Mickey and Minnie? I'm excited about
it. I love Mickey Mouse.
I know. Yeah, I'm excited.
We made it nearly 50 years without a Mickey Mouse ride.
It's time.
At this point.
We can go another 2 months.
Well, no, we've been waiting for this one for quite a while. It was supposed to open in the fall.
Yes, that's true.
And I'm a huge fan of the shorts, so I'm excited that they're based off of those. I think they've done a real good job with those.
Yeah, I like those too.
Yes, they are comfortable and breezy on a hot day.
Mm-hmm. I prefer a capri pant, but
I'm a culotte man myself.
They're more versatile.
I'm rocking my pedal pushers as we record this. Heather's got the clam diggers.
Yes.
Yes. And then around the same time as the Mickey Mouse ride, also the Mickey Shorts Theater will debut.
Mickey Shorts Runoff Theater, I guess, is a pretty good way.
Yes.
Where's that?
The ABC Sound Studio next to the Hyperion Theater, the former home of Star Wars Path of the Jedi and Sounds Dangerous.
And now we're next to where they do the Frozen sing-along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never went to any of them. I've never been in that building.
Sounds Dangerous was horrible.
Was that the Drew Carey thing?
Yes. It was not good.
Yeah, it was one of the worst attractions I've been on, and I tend to like most attractions. I tend to like almost everything.
So that does it for Hollywood Studios, unless we want to talk more about Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. But I think we can move right along. Animal Kingdom, is there anything coming to Animal Kingdom? There's nothing coming to Animal Kingdom.
I heard they were going to put in a tree.
Another one?
Just a regular normal tree.
I heard they were getting some animals.
Yep.
They just put in some otters.
Yeah, the otter grotto.
Otter grotto. They're like very cute.
That sounds utterly charming.
Yes, it is. We stopped and watched the otters for quite a while last week because they're cute and they were all.
I want one.
They hold hands.
They were playing and wrestling and one of them had they gave them a shellfish and just let them, like in the wild, try to figure out how to open it. So we watched an otter laying on his back with a shell and a rock, just working at that shell until he cracked it open and had a nice treat.
Thanks a lot, guys. I was born in captivity. Yeah. I don't know how to do this.
I don't know how to get this shellfish open.
I'm so hungry.
But because he was born in captivity, he Googled how to open it.
Yes.
More than likely.
The rock was really a cell phone.
It's a millennial otter.
That's right.
Anything exciting? I think that's everything about Disney World.
Disneyland has a lot of stuff going.
2021 is going to be even more exciting for Disney World. We'll talk about that at the end of the year.
That's the 50th and lots of stuff planned for there. Disneyland's kind of ramping it up for next year or this year. I keep wanting to say next year, but we're already here. Yeah. It's 2020.
I think the first big one is their version of Rise to Resistance is coming soon.
Very soon, a couple of weeks.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So that will be, and then also next month in February, they're getting a brand new parade.
Magic happens.
It looks good.
Yes.
I love their previous daytime parade, but this one looks really neat. I love the float designs.
Yep. I'm looking right now at just the concept art of the Moana float. And it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like on a boat.
I, like most nearly 50-year-old men, love parades. I think I'm the exact target demo, but I do love them.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Just something about a good parade. Snow White's getting an update. She's not going to be so scary anymore.
Aw.
Yeah, that's sad.
I didn't hear about that.
Children.
I like the scariness of the Snow White ride.
They're making it slightly less scary. I think they're getting rid of some of the dark dungeon scenes that really have nothing to do with the actual movie. And then they're going to expand the ending so that it's not just a really quick flash by the sign that says "and they live happily ever after." They're going to actually show us Snow White back alive.
Okay. I guess.
Meh.
Hey, Lunar New
Absolutely.
Year is starting on January 17th, and they do a lot for Lunar New Year at Disneyland. And this
Yes.
year is the year of the
Year of the-
mouse.
Uh-huh.
So
Is it
exciting.
mouse or rat?
It's the mouse. It's
Mouse.
the year of the mouse. Yeah.
I keep
It
seeing
has
all
one
the
year,
designs and they don't say. They just have a little rodent. I couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah, it's Year of the Mouse, and they have a mouse who lives at Disneyland. So, maybe they could have some kind of a tie-in.
I bet you there will be.
Is it Pluto?
He's a
Yes,
dog.
that's the one. Got it in one, Jeff.
Yeah.
See, Disneyland Park. Oh, Indiana Jones is also getting a refurb because it's the 25th anniversary of the ride this year.
Yeah.
Is it
Now they're going
really?
to have it work 27% of the time instead of 25.
Yeah, allegedly, they're fixing some of the broken effects that haven't worked in.
Oh, like the
Yeah.
constipated Indiana Jones at the end? Who just stands
Yeah,
there and just goes, oh.
Jess and Heather and I got stuck on that with, it was us and Dave and Zach, and we got stuck looking at him for 30 minutes or
It
more.
was a long time.
I believe
It really
Jeff,
looked like he
Jeff
was struggling
made
on the
some
toilet.
Interesting little videos from some footage.
I may have.
Mhm.
And Disneyland's doing their, bringing back their DL After Dark events. Those are cool.
Yeah.
I like how they do the different themes instead of just like one villain thing that lasts a whole season. They do several different kinds. They're doing an 80s night, a Sweethearts night, Pixar night, and a Villains night, all for their
Yeah, those
after
look
hours
fun.
events. Those look super fun.
And then the big thing that's coming,
Summer.
and I booked a trip specifically for this,
Did you?
is Avengers Campus opens this summer. So
When did you book it? August 29th?
no, actually, we arrive August 30th, and we're there till September 5th. So
Oh, good call.
That's probably
Yeah.
pretty safe. Yeah.
I figure that's as good as we can get, and it's the week before my son starts school. So
Do you
and
think
it
that
is-
they'll have that cool Spider-Man animatronic that we saw on the Imagineering
if you look at the
story?
concept, if you look at the concept art, the front of the Spider-Man ride, it actually has a Spider-Man swinging on this crane.
Uh-huh.
And at first I was just like, oh, they're just, shoving in a character in the concept art.
Oh, but
the
it
fact that
could
they have a
be.
dedicated crane with a line on it,
Yeah.
I swear, like, you'll be walking by and he'll probably be
Yeah.
swinging.
And that's
I
what
missed
they
that
launched it
animatronic
off.
on the Imagineering show.
Oh, you have got
Is it
to
the
watch
last
it.
Gotta go back and
episode?
watch it.
It's the last
Yeah.
episode, yeah.
It's at the end of the last episode.
It's
Oh,
breathtaking. Yeah, and they launch him off a crane, right? They sort of catapult him, and then he's
Oh, that's like that one.
It's just
that-
like a slingshot. Yeah.
they
That's that.
slingshot him, but then he does all these flips and just no lines or anything attached. It's like it's
Yeah, I remember
just
seeing
incredible.
that. They just
Yeah.
like shot him out of a cannon
Mhm.
and he landed in a net.
Yes.
Yeah. And now
So it
he
looks
does
like they're
Spider-Man.
opening with just that Spider-Man ride and the Pym test kitchen.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they have what sounds like Rise of the Resistance scale ride that's coming in the next year or two.
That's
after
what we're
that.
all hoping for that.
Yeah.
The way they
Quinjet ride.
described it
Ticket
was
attraction, so.
pretty big and epic.
Yeah.
That would be
Fingers
awesome. If they
crossed.
did something on the scale of Rise, but with Avengers, I would be the happiest little girl on the planet.
Yeah. Oh. Have you seen the concept art for that? Because the concept art, you're like in your own individual ride chair that's floating in the air in the middle of a battle. So I
Yeah.
don't know how they plan to make that happen, but
I mean,
That's
I would
pretty
think it would be like those
Kuka arm.
trackless stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
Ratatouille and Rise of Resistance.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or the
The Kuka.
Harry Potter
Yeah.
arm thing.
But
Yeah.
but for each person, I guess, has their own one,
Oof.
which
That'd be
sounds
amazing.
insane.
Yeah.
We shall see.
It's
no
this-
word on when that second attraction is going to open.
No, nothing
Nope.
at all.
No.
No hints.
Nope.
It's
They're smart.
It's 65 years of Disneyland this summer, which is crazy. I can't believe it. We're already at the 65th anniversary.
That's a lot of years.
So
Yeah.
July 17th.
I feel like they just ended the 60th anniversary.
It does feel
Well,
like
because
that. doesn't it?
that lasted 3 years.
Yes.
It went all the way through the year before it and the year of it and the year after.
Yes.
It's like the year of a million dreams that lasted for what, like 10 years?
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
the year of
Something
10
like that,
million dreams.
Just about.
Avengers.
Oogie Boogie Bash is coming back in 2020. I didn't get to see that last year, so I wouldn't mind catching it this year. That's what replaced, what did it used to be called? Mickey's Halloween Party? Something?
Yeah, they did it over at the Disneyland park and they moved everything over to
Yeah, and I heard
California Adventure.
the Villainous, the World of Color show for Oogie Boogie was really, really cool.
I love the character Oogie Boogie, so I'm glad to see that. He's one of my favorites. just dark and weird, like a scary sack of flour.
Yeah.
You don't know how old it
bugs.
is, how long it's been in the pantry.
That's right. Are there boll weevils in it? Did we freeze
Yeah.
those?
Was it whole wheat flour?
Scary. What
Anything else? Are we missing anything from Disneyland?
That's all at Disneyland.
Oh,
I want to head back
Food
to
and Wine. That's coming
yeah.
back on February 28th through April 21st. I love the time of year and the place that they do that there. Do it all through California Adventure, and it's much prettier weather than the sweaty Food and Wine at our own Epcot.
So hot.
Yeah, that was really nice there. What was the festival that was going on when we did KeyCon there a couple years ago?
Festival.
It was the holidays.
Festival of Festivals.
the holidays. Yeah.
I liked the way the festival was not so intrusive.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't seem to be intrusive.
It's not in your face.
Yeah.
Okay, heading back to Orlando, we've got a few more things we could talk about. There's not a lot at Universal that's been announced other than everybody's been waiting for the Bourne Stuntacular opening in spring.
Where you can't tell where real life stops and the screen begins.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Well, and then
do
they're
they have a guarantee on their products?
they're building something.
So
right now. Yeah.
What
do you
is
think,
rumored
Jess?
to be it's rumored to be titled the Velocicoaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still there's rumors that Jurassic Park is going to be revamped into Jurassic World as
like they did
Hollywood.
at Hollywood. Yeah.
Right. And the one thing that you can't deny is that they are building something. And
Something pretty
they've
huge.
Got ride tracks that have just come in, and there's footage of the ride track sitting off site. So it's a big steel coaster that's going to probably span the entire land. And so we're not sure if it's going to get a switch, but Universal likes to do a lot of their construction and then announce that something's coming. Yeah, like Hagrid's wasn't announced for a while, but they had walls.
We were all speculating, and everybody kind of said, "Oh, it's going to be it's going to be a Forbidden Forest something." But
they didn't announce what Diagon Alley was till you could just tell it was London. And see, there's a dragon on the bank.
It's kind of like until you can no longer deny what it is, and then they say, "This is what it's going to be."
Over Thanksgiving, on Thanksgiving Day, actually, we were doing a VIP tour at Universal, and we walked by as they were literally lowering
some track,
clearly the footing of a coaster track.
Yeah.
And she said, clearly, this may or may not be a coaster. She's not allowed to say. She's like, we don't really even know what it is, but you can tell what it is. Piece of track.
Obvious. Yeah.
And you could see some huts and things. It looks definitely Jurassic Park related. And
it's right back over in the Jurassic Park area because we walked past it right after we did the Velociraptor encounter.
It's across from the splash area of the Jurassic Park ride and next to that dig site barbecue or whatever that thing. No, what is that called?
Something
that
like
restaurant on the other side there. And it's pretty big. It goes way back in there. Whatever it is going to be cool.
Yeah,
and
you can really see it.
Path, so it's on
if you're across the other side of that little lake.
Lagoon.
The lagoon. Yeah, you can really see that. They can't hide it behind walls when you're over on the other side.
That's the way they build. It's probably likely to open late this year. I love that about Universal. They'll just throw money at it and get it done in a year and a half. Of course, they don't work once they open, but they're open.
Poor Hagrid.
Most of the time.
Between the wear and tear on the track and the bees, Hagrid's had a tough year.
It's like the word of the day. SeaWorld's got a couple of things.
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
I just read about their new roller coaster they're building.
Yeah, the Icebreaker.
This thing.
It's a launch coaster. It's going to launch you forward and backwards.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
Four launches, including one that will catapult the train up a 93-foot spike.
And one breakfast.
On which, they will drop at a beyond vertical 100-degree angle.
Yeah.
I mean,
beyond vertical. Why?
That's what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
curves
at Cedar Point.
Yes, it kind of goes back. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
The ride will also.
It's fun, actually. I like that.
The ride will also include an 80-foot tall top hat tower featuring a steep ascent followed by a short crest and a precipitous drop. This thing looks wicked.
Yeah.
I think I'm too old for that.
I'm not sure about this. I mean,
All the
I've
while, a
done some
SeaWorld
crazy
employee will
coasters
punch you in the
recently.
face.
Yeah. I really love the Mako at SeaWorld. And
Yeah, I love that one.
That one's got a pretty intense drop, but it's not beyond vertical.
Yeah, on that one, the curves, it's a hyper coaster, so all of the curves and drops are outsized, so it's not real extreme feeling.
Right.
It looks extreme and it's scary if you're scared of heights, which
And you
I'm
feel
not. But
the entire time like you're going to fly out of the seat.
yeah, a lot of G's there, but
I rode it one time in the very front row, and my contacts blew off my eyes.
yeah, you can't look from side to side on that.
So I can't ride that one in the front row anymore.
My eyelids completely inverted.
Yes.
Or you need to wear goggles.
Or wear goggles. Good point.
That's a good
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
They should hand those out.
I could just pack some swim goggles, and
Yeah, it's a great look.
I
too.
like it. Yeah.
Is there an on-ride photo?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that the?
Next time I'm there, I'll make that happen.
They're also changing their orca show this year.
Yep.
Before they phase out the orcas, they're changing it from less of a stunt spectacular to more of a show that shows how they train and work with the animals.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be more of like a whale TED Talk.
A whale in a turtleneck flopping around up there.
Symposium.
So by phasing out the orcas, are they just basically going to let the orcas that are residents now just live there on display for the rest
They're
of
going
their
to cook
life?
and eat them.
Yeah, I think they're not acquiring any new.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought too. But it's not like they're going to take the captive orcas they have right now and just dump them back in the sea and make them fend for themselves.
No.
Free will.
It's like rent,
It's
like rent control in New York.
No, 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 no.
Yeah, I love the orca show. I hate that. That's
I know. I agree.
Yeah.
it is what it is. I always really enjoyed it.
I did too.
There's a whole thing.
I don't get into that here, I guess, but I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other sea animals, the seals and walruses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I go out of this
Walrus.
Walrus, is that the official?
Yeah, I
plural?
think so.
Okay.
penguin. Called a murder of walrus.
A murder of walrus.
Murder. I like it. There's quite a few big roller coasters coming in 2020. Busch Gardens in Tampa is also getting. It's actually a refurb of one of their old wood coasters that was called the Gwazi. I'm saying that right.
I think I
It's
got
going
that in
to
South
be
America.
refurbished.
It's good on a tortilla chip.
Yes. It's going to be refurbished by a company that called Rocky Mountain Construction that I guess is famous for taking old, past their prime wooden roller coasters and making them a wood steel hybrid. So the new one is going to be called the Iron Gwazi.
Mhm.
So it will keep a lot of the original wood structure, but it's going to be taller, faster, have a 206-foot drop, a top speed of 76 miles per hour, and they're going to introduce 3 inversions into it. So
I like when they do that because it has the feel and the clickety clack of a wooden coaster, but it's smooth and sturdy like a
they
steel
have
coaster.
something called a patented iBox steel track that they integrate into the wood coaster. It looks like it'll be pretty cool. If you like,
I think they
big
did
coasters.
that at some of the Dollywood coasters when they took over from what was that before, like Silver Dollar City or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can ride those coasters anymore. Have you guys been to Busch Gardens? Anyone here?
Not in a really long time.
We
That's the
have
one that
Probably
has
been
animals?
20 years.
we have one here in Williamsburg.
No, that's Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
never been to
Williamsburg
any of
is
them.
also getting a new one. It's going to be Roman god themed and called the Pantheon. It will forego a traditional lift hill and use multiple magnetic launch systems to soar 178 feet high and 73 miles per hour. Then it will also have one of those top hat hills with a beyond vertical 100-degree drop. Oof. A mid-course spike that will send you racing upwards towards the heaven where you will abruptly stop and then plunge backwards into 2 inversions. Oh, wow. Check it out for us, Jess, and report back.
Sure.
That sounds like Jess would never walk again.
It does, actually. Yeah.
Sounds like my idea of not a good time.
Yeah. My inner ear viscosity has gotten so heavy that I can't ride these things. I don't recover after a while.
This year's the 100th anniversary of Knott's Berry Farm. It was a theme park we've never talked about on this show.
Out near the Disneyland.
I went out there a few times as a very small kid, but I haven't been since.
Did you know that they're responsible for boysenberries?
I was not aware of this.
Yeah, the original guy found like some junk berry bushes in his backyard and decided to clean them up and bring them back.
It was retired Lieutenant Colonel Pete Boysen.
Boise to his friends.
Weird. I would have thought it would have been nuts. But yeah, so that's the Berries and Berry Farm. And they're having various celebrations. And their one big thing is apparently they're bringing back a vintage dark ride that was a fan favorite and making it a new 4D interactive dark ride experience.
Interesting.
When are we going to get 5D? I'm tired of all these 4D rides.
Yeah, there's not enough Ds.
What's the 5th D going to be?
Never enough Ds.
Yeah. This dude loves the D. He can't get enough.
Send all your Ds to...
I don't know. Heather's the one that said she can't get enough. Okay, that's cut out. We don't need the listener mail that's going to...
You don't need all the Ds, just one big D.
That was fine.
One big D. Heather's the one asking for the D, so send that to Heather at goldkeyadventures.com. Cedar Point's also got a big anniversary this year.
Ooh, I haven't been to Cedar Point in years.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
The last time I went to Cedar Point was with Kendra, and she got hit in the head by a giant pickle. Ask her about that story.
Was that part of a ride?
Everywhere I go.
Was that like an attraction?
That's what you get for riding the pickle blaster.
You have to pay extra to get a giant dill pickle thrown at your head.
You guys got some weird theme parks out there.
Hey, whatever it takes. 150 years of Cedar Point, and they're giving away lifetime passes.
Oh, wow.
They're going to have a parade that looks like Paint the Night. Actually, they're going to have a nighttime parade that's covered with lights.
Cedar Point is a great coaster park. They have some really huge, crazy coasters.
Paint the Pickle.
Yes.
Paint the Pickle. They're not adding any roller coasters this year, but they have this Snake River Expedition that there's not a lot of details, but the concept art makes it look like it's kind of a Jungle Cruise ripoff,
cool.
helping Trapper Dan go down a river in America, and says it's going to have actors and animatronics and surprises and snakes.
This one will feature
Surprise
the left
snakes.
side of water.
Probably.
Surprise snakes is never a good thing.
No, that's the worst kind of snake.
That's the worst kind of surprise.
Well,
my son is doing a class actually at the last week of school at our local high school. They have something that they call interim, where they all do just one class, and a lot of it is trips places. And he's doing a class called roller coaster physics. And basically they're taking them to Cedar Point for 2 days. And they're just going to ride the coasters. I said, is there some actual math? Are you going to learn about the physics of roller coasters? And he said, it doesn't look like it. We're just going to ride roller coasters for 2 days.
They do that at Disney as part of the Youth Education Service.
Yeah,
program.
I think there you actually learn some physics.
Does everyone get an erector set?
Yes.
Did you know that they use
damn near killed her?
Always an opportunity for that to come up during Gold Key Adventure Society meetings.
That's what we call a rudder.
Yes. What were you saying, Jeff?
I don't know. Some other dumb erector joke.
Erector. I think, unless anybody's got anything exciting coming to our world in 2020.
That's already way more things than I can experience in 1 year.
Yeah, it's a long list. We got to start soon.
Maybe in like a week and a half.
Sounds good.
There you go. Well, then I think we're going to call this meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society to an end. Maybe if you're inspired to check out some of the things we talked about as coming to various parks and places this year, head on over to Key to the World Travel www.keytotheworldtravel.com and request a no obligation quote, and we can see what we can hook you up with. Thanks for listening to us every week. Make sure you tell a friend or two that you think might enjoy our particular weird brand of travel fun. Where they can find the show, and hopefully they'll join up with us. And trying to think about if there's anything else that I'm supposed to say at the end of the show. Make sure you rate and review. Check out themeparkprofessor.com for all of the latest theme park news and travel planning tips and guides.
And don't go to Flo's.
Y'all come back.
It's time to close this week's gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for tuning in. If you want to become a member of our band of explorers, all you have to do is subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And while you're there, go ahead and give us a rating and review, won't you? We'll be eternally grateful. It helps other adventurers find us and helps us grow our show. To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.